What's going on, family? A few minutes for Jesus. God bless. Hope all is well. I want to title this message One Thing. Yeah, one thing. One thing. Because there's so many things that God wants to give us. There's so many blessings that God wants to give us. The best blessing ever was His Son. Why? Because of His Son, He saved us from hell, saved us from destruction, and restored us to a life that we can have with God once again, that we can be in relationship with God, that God could be our God and we can be His children, that He loves us so much. But the only way to get that blessing, the only way to get that love from God is if we have a relationship with Him through His Son, Jesus Christ. Not everybody's a child of God. I'm not gonna lie to you, not everybody's a child of God. Once you accept His Son, you become in relationship with the Son, then you become a son, then you become a daughter also. God loves everybody, but He told you love your enemies anyway. And God has to love His enemies too. It's either for or against. But there's so many blessings that God wants to give each and every one of us. So many blessings. But what's crazy is that there's always this one thing that got you tripping. There's one thing that got you separated from God. Look at the many blessings that God has given us. But you don't let one thing stop you? One thing, one emotion, one feeling? Just because you don't feel like loving your mom or your wife or your kids today, you're gonna stop loving them? That don't make no sense. I'm just saying there may be one thing that you disagree with when it comes to Christianity. I don't know what that thing may be, and I'm not saying don't question it. But I'm saying to you, would you let that one thing stop you from all the blessings God has given you? I let some of my students, they don't come to class because they don't feel like it today. You gonna stop your education just because you don't feel like it today? If your CEO says, listen, we're gonna have a mandatory meeting, everyone better show up. Even if you don't agree with the organizational structure of the company, you still gonna show up anyway. You're gonna let just one thing? Just one thing? Just one thing? Listen, I want to ask you and re-invite you back into a relationship with God. You may have turned away from God for whatever reason it is, but don't let one thing stop you from the many blessings that God has given you. You may not agree with one or two things, and I rock with you and I hear you, and I can answer some questions. I don't know everything, but if I don't, I can get you to somebody who can. But what I'm saying to you, don't let one thing. You don't let one thing stop you from God? I hope not. Reevaluate one thing versus the many blessings and the innumerable, unquantifiable love that God has for you and He wants to give you. You don't let one thing stop that? I hope not. God bless. A few minutes for Jesus.
And here's the latest weather report.